everyone, it's Denise at Something Beautiful Handcrafts, and today I am doing a little bit of paper crafting. Now, if you're new to my channel, then you don't know that I paper craft, which I do. And it started for two reasons. First of all, I used to oil paint, but really there's only so much oil paint I could do because I ran out of places to put the, large oil paintings. Just don't have that kind of space and nowhere for them to go. And so I decided that I would try to work on some smaller scales, and it seemed like card making was a good way to continue to work with my art, but still be able to do something useful with the product. And that it really didn't work out too well either because I don't really have anywhere to send cards to. I'm thinking that I might start just kind of donating them if I can find a place to donate them. I think Ronald McDonald House accepts cards, so that's a thought. At any rate, the second reason was when I was selling my fiber arts, I wanted to include something personal and unique to go inside of the packages. So I started making tags for the packages, and then other little things in the cards kind of went in that direction. So I slacked off really making the cards. Like I said, I really had nowhere for them to go. And I joined a card group on Facebook, Card Exchange, and it changed into Level Up. And so the ladies, we have a card project once a month with a theme and different techniques. And it kind of helps me stay as fresh as possible and gets me back into the card game. So right here, this is our care package for June. And the care package includes 3 to 4 different pieces of pattern paper, 3 to 5 different types of embellishments, and the sentiments. So I don't have a lot of pattern paper, and mainly that's because my stamping was based on images and lots of coloring and painting. So pattern paper was something I really didn't buy. I have plain cardstock, and mostly that's for layering. So I only had a few pieces of pattern paper. So try to include some decent ones here. I don't usually have lots of embellishments either, just because I'm coloring. So embellishments aren't really things I have. I did have pearls, and there's some glitter, and there's some heat embossing, things like that. So I tried to find some things. One thing I do have is a lot of ribbon from the sewing. So I'm including a couple different types of ribbon. This is just 2 of the types of ribbon I'm including. And I did some well, I should say die cutting of little die cut embellishments, because I actually surprisingly have quite a few dies. Most of them are Christian based. So not a large variety, but I do have a few here and there, so I included a few of those. Mainly what I'm working on right now are the wax seals. So I'm pretty sure most of you, especially if you're historically minded like me, have seen these wax seals in different movies and things like that. And so I've wanted to do wax seals for a very long time. And I just really, it's like a thing you want to do, and you say, I'm going to do it, and you never kind of get to it. And then, you kind of need a reason to make wax seals. Like, what do you do with them? So I figured, hey, it'd be a great thing to add to my card repertoire. So I got a kit off of AliExpress, and it consisted of the spoon, which is this guy right here, the stamp handle, these 3 packs of wax, and it has a little candle here. And so I'm not a candle person. I kind of find open flames unsafe. So I figured I would put it on, use one of the oil burners. You just pick those up at Dollar Tree, and that's how I would burn my wax. So for the time being, I have been putting it underneath the oil burner and melting it. And I wanted to see if it was possible to put it inside the oil burner at the top and maybe I could have one oil burner for each of the colors. They do have furnaces, which look like they look like those little alcohol burners that you put under chafing pans. And so I thought about getting those. They are a little pricey, between $15 and $20, which is pricey for me because everything I do is budgeted. And if I'm only making like one or two wax seals every other month, that's kind of pricey. That's coffee money. Also, I would have to get a different spoon for each one too. And spoons aren't exactly cheap either. So I figured if I could get away with this would work. Except it seems to me that this wax has been up here for a while and it doesn't really seem to be hot enough to do what I want to do. So I'm thinking maybe it doesn't really work. So I'm going to go ahead and ruin another sewing tin to test this out. I mean, it's been melting like this for an hour or so, and it's still not really melted. So I'm going to say probably this is not going to work, and I will just need to get some other spoons. All right, so let's see how this works. This one is the iris, and iris is the symbol I use for my channel because I absolutely love irises. This one is a hummingbird. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's pretty large compared to the other ones. This one is the Tree of Life. This one says made with love. Okay, so we could put these on the handle, and I had meant to go around and dot each of these seals with a little bit of fingernail polish so I could readily know what side is up. So I just try to put it down, make sure what side is up. I need about 3 to 5 beads of wax for the small seals and a little more for the big seal, depending on how thick you like them. If you put like 3, it's going to be really flat like this one. Okay, so normally what I would do, well, what I wanted to do was have this already melting on here so I could just pour this and show you how it works. Now, I'm not an expert. I like to have nice, perfect round seals. I know that's not necessary, but I like to try to. So I'm still working out my technique on how to pour the wax and how to set the stamp so that it is round. But like I said, that's not even a real thing, so I'm worried about it too much. And also, the last time I poured the wax, I laid ribbon down and poured the wax on top of the ribbon, so it was one whole embellishment. And let me just tell you, that was so cute. All right, now, anyway, I wanted to do this in real time so you have a pretty good idea of how long this takes, because sometimes you see the videos and it's fast forwarded, and it seems, if you're doing it, you're thinking to yourself, boy, this is taking a long time. Theirs didn't take that long, so you don't really get a good sense of how long it takes. But this is going to take a while. So I'm just going to hold it over the flame. And I probably should have turned off the ceiling fan first. It's been very hot the past few days. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for this to melt, this could probably take up to a minute. I want to talk really briefly about not January. Oh boy, it's definitely not January. This is June. And this is June's card swap for the Level Up group. And it's called the Magello. I think that's supposed to be something like that technique. And basically you take 3 or 4 different patterns or more. You cut the pattern paper into strips. You lay the strips down on the card in whatever order you like. And then you slice the card up and rearrange them. And this month's theme was patriotic. Like I said, I have little to no pattern paper. And I had no patriotic colors to boot. So what I did was take some ordinary strips of cardstock and lay them out as described in red, white, and blue pattern. And then I ran them through the Sizzix and the Big Shot, the Sizzix Big Shot, and I put a pattern on them. All the same pattern. I think I probably should put a couple different patterns, but I'm only thinking about that right now. I should have had each color a different pattern. And just to make up for the lack of pattern, I cut out these stars. It's a big star pattern. I'm still punching it through. Put that up there so you can see that. And I mean, I think this pattern is spectacular. It's one of my favorite dies that I haven't had a chance to use much. Pull this piece out in the middle, you get a better idea of what this looks like. Trying to get this out one-handed as my wax melts. Okay, there we go. It's like that guy just does not want to come out. And what I did was I cut out a couple different ones of this. Maybe looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I cut out 5 of them. I need to cut out one more. And I'm actually going to stack them so that they are red, white, and blue stacked. Now, I want to say it was Jennifer McGuire. Not too long ago, week or two ago, Jennifer McGuire did a video with a stacked sentiment, and it was a rainbow stacked, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I never thought about anything like that. Oh, look at that. And so I'm going to stack them up. All right, now I forgot that inside this spoon was the silver, which is one of the reasons why I either need more spoons or I need these multiple ovens. This is almost ready. And it's just going to be the way it is. That silver is really pretty and it's a nice swirl. If you're counting on a video, you know exactly how long that this is taking. This particular die, I don't know where it came from or who it belongs to, but it has, of course, the outline is a big star here, and then kind of these swirl embellishments all around it. And then on top of that, when you die cut it, there are all these extra stars. So you have stars inside the die cut. Then that means you'll have little extra stars that fall out of the die cut that you can use. And then to top it off, all around it are these more extra stars. Now it's supposed to be separated. These stars should be separated off of the main piece, but I didn't because I was afraid to lose them. I probably can pop these 2 pieces off here, and then that'll keep that one whole piece together. But it's just so much cooler just to run it through and then have all the pieces all at one time. And then to top it off, especially if you're like me, all these little extra pieces that pop off, I think they make really cool cutouts. So I add those 2 to the card. All right, so here we go. This is ready. This is a silicone baking mat or a silicone pan mat. It's about the same. At any rate, this for me has turned out to be the perfect surface to offer resistance to the stamp here, and also to absorb the heat, and it's nonstick, so that all works very well. All right, I'm going to try to pour this in something that is very close to a circle. And then I just try to get it. Oh, and it slides away sometimes. Oh, that really gets me when it slides away, because I want it to be like perfect. So I'm like, no, don't slide away. But that just is what it is. All right, now, while that is on there cooling, it only takes, maybe 30 seconds. Let it cool. I'm going to put another one on. going to give that a little bit. This has to cool down before you lift it back up again if you want a good impression. And also, I have to say about the silicone mat is because it stays cool, then it helps the seal to cool later on afterwards, because when I touch that seal, it's going to be hot. It has absorbed the heat from the wax. So it needs to cool. I'm going to go ahead and lift it up. That's great. Okay, I'm going to put this down for a moment because I'm actually going to change heads on this. Let's put that over here. And I'm going to use the big one. Where is the big one? Oh, it's over here. Nope, that's not the big one. Gosh. Oh, it's under here. All right, here we go. I'm going to use the big one. Just going to hold this over here. Okay, this is not completely cooled, but you can see that. One thing I do have to say about the oven is the oven has a little shelf on there, so I could lay this down into the oven and not have to hold it, which would free my hands up. So if there's ever a point where I'm making a lot of these for some reason, which is kind of what I had planned to, but if I ever find myself making a lot of them, I will go ahead and splurge for the oven. You know me, I like to make do with what I have for as long as I possibly can without getting anything extra. I really would like to make more cards. There are already a host of card makers on YouTube already, but I mean, if there for some reason you would like to see me make cards, especially if I'm making yarn themed cards or doll themed cards, whatever, let me know. I'd love to make some cards with you all. And I also have another channel that's called Live the Life, and it's a Christian devotional channel. And I'm kind of picking up the slack. I don't know if you're familiar with Maymay, and Maymay does wonderful card tutorials. I started watching her because she did Cricut tutorials, and now mostly she makes this card tutorials and all kind of paper projects. But she used to do a devotional segment on Sundays where it was a scripture and a drawing, like journal she would do, or card making she would do based on that scripture. And she's kind of stopped doing that. So if anyone's interested in the scripture card making or the scripture art journaling, let me know. My other channel is called Keeping the Faith. Right, so let me see what I did with that pen. I have to stop ruining pens by stirring them into the wax. Okay, this is almost done. You know, the beautiful thing is, as I stir this, I can kind of leave it alone. It'll have those swirl, or I can stir it until it's all one totally different color. A lot of times I tend to like that swirl. It's okay. And I will swirl it on purpose. At some point too, like I said, I will make more of these and I'll get more colors so I can do all kind of fantastic swirls, pretty much like I'm dyeing yarn. Basically, I used to say I'm not much into color. I think as far as wearing, I'm not. But when it comes to dyeing yarn, painting, and even this, it's all the same to me. I'm messing around with colors I'm swirling them, I'm blending them, I'm making them pop. It's all the same techniques to me. It's different mediums, but it's pretty much all the same. I swirl in the dye pot and on the canvas and on the paper and in the wax the same way I do everything else. All right, I'm going to pour this as a really close dot. I'm not going to spread it out because once I drop this thing, it's going to spread. And I want to get it on the edges, in the center is what I'm trying to say, as close as possible, because I want to make sure I get an even spread all the way around. And I don't think I did. Okay, so this is the thing about wax seals. Like, there is an art of setting this thing down. Sometimes I can almost get it perfect. Sometimes I can just get a bunch off the side. So I just keep trying until I get it the way I want. And if it's not the way I want, I can just remelt it. Now, let me grab the pen. I have a gold paint pen. And I feel like I should have some other color too. This one maybe is a Sharpie. And I want to say I got it at Walmart. But let me just say that they have them at the Dollar Tree now. And they had several different colors. They had a silver. They had a gold. They had a white. They had a couple different ones. So this just really makes your seals pop. Let me see. Okay, so this one right here is from the Dollar Tree because it says Crafter Square. And I just very lightly go over the letters. I don't know if that'll stay in focus. I'll have to focus it again after I've, there we go, after I've done it. Just very lightly. Okay. Then I'm going to go around the ribbon here very carefully. Okay, so, all right, just a few more things I want to tell you. This video is longer than I thought it was going to be. Okay, I want to tell you that this wax here is sealing wax. Okay? It's not crayon wax. It's not candle wax. There's a difference. Trust me, I tried. So crayons will kind of sort of work. I don't know if there's a difference between Crayola and the cheaper ones. Maybe there is. Just a proportion of wax that's different. They kind of do work. It's not so bad. And you can melt them through your glue gun. But they're still not sealing wax. Because if you've ever snapped a crayon, you know they break very well. And these guys are really flexible, okay? And they flex fairly well without cracking, too much cracking. Well, this one has been done so many times, but for the most part, they flex pretty well without cracking in half. They'll bend, but they won't crack. Candle wax, it won't hold up. When you go to stamp it, it won't hold up, and it'll make a mess inside of your seal. Tried it because I just wanted to know. Not a good idea. Get sealing wax. There are some sealing waxes that are better than others, yes, but the cheap AliExpress or the one I got from Walmart, the ones you get from, I think Michael's is where the other ones were, they'll be fine. You can get some more expensive ones. For life of me, I can't remember the company, but online company, they have all kind of supplies. Maybe it'll come to me. And they have some good stuff, and it's not super expensive. So just get sealing wax. Secondly, these will go through the mail. You can put a wax seal on the outside of your envelope if you just want to be like that. And from what I have been told, they come out fairly machinable. So I don't know if the I don't know if USPS appreciates that. Not everybody there might know. They might freak out if you do. But if you got somebody who doesn't care and they run it through the machine, it's been done before. And for the most part, it's fine. So, all right, so let's look at this one. It's not quite the way I want it. I want to melt it again, but you don't have to watch me do that on camera. So I just want to thank you for watching. Thanks to my subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, if you're into fiber arts or sewing doll clothing or my random gardening or any of those crafts like that, just subscribe and let me know what you'd like to see down in the comments below. Thank you very much and have a great day.